Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Kurata Ayuni. On this occasion, I will represent my paper with Dr. Fitra Arsil with title Handling of COVID-19 as a Non-Natural Disaster in Indonesia. This paper analyzes how Indonesia is handling the global COVID-19 pandemic. The focus of this paper is on the decision of the Indonesian government to determine the COVID-19 pandemic as a non-natural national disaster. It addressed question: is the determination of the status of a non-natural national disaster adequate and consistently used in handling COVID-19 in Indonesia? To answer this question, this paper employed juridical normative by exploring the regulation and institutional approaches during the pandemic. This paper indicates 3 points. First, there is an institutional problems with multi-leading sector. Second, the lack of formal clarity. The regulation materials are overlapping and too bureaucratic. Third, the lack of supervision as part of check and balances from other branches of power. This paper is important as part of evaluation and lesson learned for better handling COVID-19 in the future. Since the discovery of first 2 cases of COVID-19 on March 2nd, 2020 in Depok, the Indonesia government has produced a series of legal products to deal with the spread of COVID-19. Globally, the World Health Organization has designated COVID-19 as a public health emergency of international concern on January 30, 2020. After that, the WHO increased its status as a global pandemic on March 11, 2020. The law and regulation in Indonesia have provided various alternatives in responding to emergency caused by this global pandemic. In general, there are 2 laws that are used as references in the formation of policy for handling COVID-19, namely Law No. 6 of 2018 concerning health quarantine and Law No. 14 of 2007 concerning disaster management. On March 31, 2020, the government issued Presidential Decree No. 11 of 2020 concerning the determination of public health emergency, which refers to the health quarantine law. This determination is the basis for the impositions of large-scale social restriction in several regions in Indonesia. On the same date, President Joko Widodo also issued government regulation in lieu of Law No. 1 of 2020 concerning state financial policy and financial system stability for handling the coronavirus disease pandemic and/or in the context of facing threat endanger the national economy and/or financial system stability. Finally, the President shall issue Presidential Decree of 12 of 2020 concerning the designation of non-natural disaster for the spread of coronavirus disease 2019 as national disaster. A number of derivated regulation and implementing regulation were established to complement the technical legal instrument required by the COVID-19 emergency policy in Indonesia. We have 4 recommendations for the status. First is to strengthening institution and policy. The concept of determining status in emergency is to give the government the authority to take the necessary action to save the country by concentrating resources to restore normal condition. The concept was originally requested by WHO to Indonesia through the letter on March 10, 2020, of which asked the Indonesian government to increase its response to COVID-19, namely establishing a national emergency status. Institutional and policy weakening occurs when the government delays in determining the emergency status. 20 days after the WHO's recommendation, the Indonesia government only established a public health emergency on March 31, 2020. In health calculation, 20 days is too late to be related to the incubation period and the spread of COVID-19, which is 14 days. Recommendation number 2 is about the clarity of the formal material form of policy. Another problem found in a number of products related to COVID-19 is the lack of formal material formulation of policy. One critique that is often encountered is the lack of the content in a legal product developed during an emergency. So, sometimes policy cannot be executed and it must be wait for the issues of detailing implementation regulation. A legal product that developed in emergency must at least have an appropriate and applicable content, so that the content in a legal product determined by the government must contain not only the main thing but also the detail and that can be implemented by the stakeholders. And the recommendation number 3 is the centralization of policy implementers. The ideal concept of control during an emergency comes from the theory of the Carl Schmitt regarding the sovereign and the state of exception. According to him, in an emergency, it requires strengthening command and centralization of policy implementers. In theory, centralization of control and policy during an emergency can only be carried out by the president as head of state, because it is the president who is given constitutional authority to violate the law that applies specifically during an emergency. In implementing the COVID-19 emergency, there are many major players who do not have a firm posture of authority. The unclear leading sector in relation to this authority has resulted in many parties that has feeling that they have authority to regulate one another. Several institutions that are key players in handling COVID-19 include the Ministry of Health, the National Disaster Management Agency, the regional government, and also central government. Sagar argues that the concentration of power will facilitate good policy making in emergency. This is exactly what is expected from the implementation of the emergency status. The existence of Presidential Decree number 11 of the 2020 concerning the determination of the coronavirus disease 2019, the public health emergency is expected to centralize policy in response to COVID-19. The last recommendation is the strengthening checks and balances. Although in essence, an emergency is a condition for violating the law, the implementation of an emergency cannot be separated from the check and balances mechanism. The need to bypass the administrative side in time of emergency must not eliminate the role of other state powers that have been guaranteed in Constitution. The public's biggest concern about the loss of the check and balances mechanism lies in the enactment of Perpu number 1 2020 regarding irregularity of state finance. The argument for handling COVID-19 for state financial stability can be easily used as an action that have minimal oversight from both legislature and the judiciary. Thank you very much for listening our presentation. If you have any comment or if you have any answer, please write down in the comment and answer section. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.